How is it going, everyone? Welcome back to another JC tennis video. Today, we are going to go through the Wimbledon men's semifinals. I have them pulled up right here. Medvedev, Alcaraz, Musetti, Djokovic. I'm just going to go through who I like to win each match and then the bets I like for each match. And I'm just going to go through it, basically my thought process right here with you guys. I haven't really thought about either of these too much, but I'm just going to go through my process here and see what I end up liking. And maybe if the two winners of these matches, I'll probably just pick the final two for right now. And then I'll do a prediction ahead of the final, depending on what it is. And even if it's the same two guys, maybe my opinion will have changed. There's a good chance it will have. So, yeah, let's start with the early match tomorrow, Medvedev, Alcaraz. So obviously, Medvedev has beaten Alcaraz twice at majors. He beat him Wimbledon 2021 before Alcaraz really came onto the scene, and then he beat him at the US Open last year. He played an incredible match. And then obviously Alcaraz beat him at Wimbledon in the semifinals last year. He beat him in straight sets. So, and Alcaraz is leading the head-to-head by quite a bit. He's beaten him, I think it's 4-2, Alcaraz. He's beaten him bad, though, a few times. Alcaraz, he's playing unbelievable. I think he's the favorite right now by a good margin to win the tournament. Obviously, he's a favorite against Medvedev. It's just Medvedev. I think Alcaraz has cracked the Medvedev code, even despite that loss to him in the US Open semi last year. I think Alcaraz needed that, though. He needed to realize that Medvedev, he's generational. He can play, and Medvedev showed him that day. And I think Alcaraz needed that, and I'm pretty sure Alcaraz has beaten Medvedev this year since then. So it's not like that has stung for too long for Alcaraz. But yeah, I think Alcaraz is just playing too good. That match against Paul was playing very good tennis, and Alcaraz just wore him down over time with just relentless, great tennis. And that's what Alcaraz does. He can have little dips, so does every player, but Alcaraz seems to be getting better and better as this tournament's progressed at limiting those dips and finding his best tennis more and more often. So I really think this could be a straight setter, I think. Medvedev, doesn't have as much rest as Alcaraz. Alcaraz has an extra day plus. He played a much shorter match. Or that's not true. They played on the same day. But Medvedev played a much more draining match than Alcaraz. You don't think it plays into effect until these guys are in a battle, 4th, 5th set, and Medvedev, you'll see the legs start to go. Maybe it's happened with Medvedev before. I just don't think he can pull it off with how well Alcaraz is playing. I don't think Alcaraz was playing this good at the US Open last year when Medvedev beat him. He really wasn't. Late last year, Alcaraz really went into a slump that he didn't come out of until Indian Wells this year. This Alcaraz is confident. He can't, in Alcaraz's mind, he can't lose in the 5th set. If this match goes to a 5th set, he can't lose, and he's not going to. So, and I don't even think it'll get that far. I'm going to say Medvedev managed to get a set because of how well he's playing. And I think tactically he's better at adjusting now than he's ever been. So I think Medvedev grabs a set. And Alcaraz, he has the little dips, as I talked about. So I think Medvedev grabs a set, but Alcaraz, I think, wins this one in 4. So Alcaraz into the final. And then Musetti, Djokovic. I feel like my take on Musetti for this past 2 weeks, he's returning so well. He was returning Pericard's serve well. He was returning Fritz's serve. He made Fritz's serve not look that deadly. And Fritz didn't serve at a high clip, but he's neutralizing these great serves. But the thing about Djokovic is that's not his whole game. It's a big part of his game, especially on grass, but it's not his whole game. And I think Musetti, this is as far as it takes him. I know he's played Djokovic tough twice in Grand Slams. He's taken him 5 at the French Open twice. But Musetti's not a guy that can close the door on him. I don't doubt that Musetti could win 2 sets here. I really don't. Djokovic hasn't really had a real tough test. Musetti's level will be much higher than Rune's. Rune's level was not good on that day where he played Djokovic. Musetti's level, I'd hope, is higher. It seems like it should be. Musetti really played well those last 4 sets against Fritz. Musetti played at a consistently good level. I think he'll for sure take sets here. Maybe not sets, but at least a set. I'm torn between, but he can't win. He's just not clutch enough. He's not one of the guys that could down Djokovic given the chance. He's just not. There's only a handful of guys that could do it, and he's not one of them. And it's proven, and that's just how it is. But he's playing well enough, and he's returning well enough. And Djokovic isn't dominant enough to just steamroll him. And Djokovic has had so many days of rest. I feel like the first set, it could be really weird with Djokovic not having played in a while and Musetti probably coming off tight. Like the first set, like literally, I think anything could happen. Like we could see a bagel either way, or a 6-1 either way. Like I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's going to level out, and the second and third sets will get into a battle, and then Djokovic will kind of pull away late. I'm going to predict a 5-setter here. That's definitely, I wouldn't bank on it because it's unlikely no matter what to predict a 5-setter in a tennis match. But I think this one's going to go 5. That's my prediction. Let's see if that one ends up being right. But Djokovic wins for sure. It's definitely a Djokovic win. And then, the final would be Djokovic-Alcaraz rematch of last year. I don't want to get too far into this prediction because obviously it's speculative. But if it makes it to that point, I've been calling this since day one of Wimbledon. I think Alcaraz is the best player and he's going to win the tournament. I think Alcaraz will beat Djokovic again, probably more routinely than last year even. Obviously last year it came down to the wire. So yeah, I think as of today, I think Carlos Alcaraz wins the tournament. Okay, let's get into the bets that I have. So I have Bet365 pulled up here. So I'm just moving my little thing out of the way. So Medvedev is obviously plus 275. He's the underdog. Alcaraz is minus 350. Favorite. Man, I feel like Alcaraz should be a bigger favorite than minus 350. Like the way I predicted these matches would tell, like I'd think the opposite. I know Djokovic isn't going to lose, but I think it'll be a closer match than Medvedev-Alcaraz. And I don't mean to undersell Medvedev, man. I really don't. And I get how great he was, and he played a great match against Sinner. But I think Alcaraz is too good, and it's like Medvedev's not going to come out playing that well again, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think I still think it's 4 sets. I just think it's pretty routine 4-set Alcaraz victory, kind of like his win against Paul. So I'd take minus 350 right now because I think that's great value, and I'd probably take 1.5 sets if we can find it in here. Here's the games handicap minus 4.5. I don't like taking those. I'm not a fan of that. And then this is set betting specifically. Like 3-1. I know it's so specific, but like I just think that's what it's gonna be. But if there's a minus 1.5 sets in here, that's what I think should be taken. I can't really find it for some reason. Maybe I pass it. It should just be this, like the match handicap, but it's a set handicap. But I don't see it for now. I'm not looking at these boosts either. Oh, here's set right here. There's just not like a set spread for the whole thing, which is so weird. Anyway, but I think taking him on the money line is genuinely worth it because he's not going to lose. And I get that it's minus 350, but like, that's so worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, so that's what I would take there. And I guess if you want the odds to be better, I'd parlay with something in the Djokovic match. Maybe the money line too, just to lower it a little bit. Or if you can find the bet, which I can't find right now, Bet365, take Alcaraz money line plus Djokovic minus 1.5 sets. Even though my prediction was what it was, it's still odds that Djokovic will win in 3 or 4 rather than 5. But I wouldn't bank on that as much as just straight, like, obviously, this is obvious, but, like, I wouldn't bank on that. with what the odds probably are for that bet, which they're probably very like juiced, like minus 200-ish for Djokovic, minus 1.5. I'd take just Alcaraz money line and forget about the parlay. So this match, though, obviously I think Djokovic is going to win. If there's an over bet for the sets, I would take that, like over 3.5. I mean, I'm not doing a good job communicating this because I don't see any of what I want here. But, I mean, I don't have to find it. I'm just going to say, if there's an over 3.5, take it for this match. And then I like Alcaraz money line, and I like Alcaraz minus 1.5. So, yeah, that's what I like there for those two matches. So, yeah. So that's my predictions. Those are my bets. I'll repeat them again. Alcaraz money line I like, but if you don't want to take minus 350, just take him minus 1.5 sets. And then Djokovic Musetti will totally go over 3 sets. Totally will go over 3 sets. Take over 3.5 Djokovic Musetti. And yeah, that's really all I have today. I'm excited for these matches tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. Semifinal Friday at Wimbledon's one of the best tennis days of the year. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully these predictions end up being good. Peace out.